hoping this is all working right. Because Restream went and changed their setup, so. Hopefully I'll be able to see everybody's chats okay. Alright, so working on a little bit of a Temur. Now this probably isn't the version everybody was hoping for when they voted for Temur tonight on the YouTube channel, but I did find a Temur version that was somewhere in between the Gruul combo version and Temur, with the only main deck blue card being Elusive Otter, which is a 1/1 prowess creature, which, you know, does have its own problems, but creatures with power less than Elusive Otter can't block it. So if you pump this up going into combat, your opponent may not be able to block it, which could be handy in some situations when you don't necessarily have monstrous rage to punch through. This kind of goes in the DRC slot that a lot of the other lists are running. So you still have your 12 1-drops, and you have Slick Shot, Show Off, and then everything else is a 1-drop. 4 copies of Mutagenic Growth, 4 copies of Blossoming Defense are your green spells, in air quotes, especially Mutagenic Growth, 4 Monstrous Rage to punch through blockers, and then 4 Bolt, 4 Lava Dart, 4 Assault Strobe. One of my concerns with this list is the mana base. You know, we have this whole commercial district. I don't know what the heck's going on with MTG right now, but we have the whole commercial district, Thundering Falls problem going on right now. So we have 2 tapped lands in our wants to be first 2 or 3 land drops untapped land deck. See how that goes. Only 1 basic mountain, which could come up if we run into Harbinger, although in the queue we'll be playing, I don't think it'll really matter. The other notable difference from the list that I basically took this from, for Ceremonious Rejection, this should be consigned to memory. I just haven't had the ticks to pick them up lately, and it's just not really worth it right now. 4 Ceremonious Rejection, 4 Eldrazi, basically. So it would also come in against Storm if it were consigned to memory. 4 Tormod's Crypt for any type of graveyard nonsense, whether it be... conceivably, you could bring this in against Murkfrog, but mostly for Storm and Garroyos. 4 Pick Your Poison, I mean, when you're playing against flyers or need to blow up enchantments or artifacts, and then 3 Rough Tumble, primarily here for Boros. That said, kind of like last week, we're going to be playing in some tournament practice rooms. Once again, this deck just isn't the most competitive right now. So, unfortunately, I haven't seen anything in Origins, in Foundations that really leads me to believe that it's going to get a significant upgrade. We mulligan the 1-lander on the play. Yeah, we'll try this one, put back one of the lands. And I think I lead on... Stomping Ground's more likely to be relevant with the way our hand's shaped up. Alright. When it goes Overgrown Tomb, possibly a Yogg Alert. Nope, Thoughtseize. So, Jundor the Rock. Yep, Slick Shot, Show Off, makes sense. I think we're going to go to combat, swing here. Poke them for 1. I'm going to leave up Play with Fire. Not that I expect there to be anything of my opponents necessarily with the rock that I'm going to target with it, but it does give us potentially 2 looks at whatever card we want to draw next with Thundering Falls, and then Play with Fire on end step if we need to dig a little bit deeper for some action or another creature. Alright, let's play as swiftly as possible to give our opponent as little reason to drop out of this match as possible. Sure. This could get the ball rolling potentially if our opponent has a removal spell. Fatal Push, blow us out. Bloop. I don't know what our opponent could have here. I should probably have held on to Lava Dart. And theoretically, that should be a good card. Okay, removal spell incoming finally. Alright, poke in for as much damage here. If they've been patient on a Fatal Push, more power to them. And part of what I was afraid of here. Let's see if the 2-man Q's got somebody in it. Yeah, problem with 2-man Q is sometimes they take a while, but less likely to have an opponent just drop the match for no reason whatsoever. So. It's like laugh out loud, double strike, and then concede. Hey War Dog, how you been, man? Been a minute since we've seen you. Seen no Doyle and Foz lately. Hadn't seen you or Space Marine of note lately. It has been a minute. Problem with the 2-man queues is sometimes they can take a while, so that's why I was doing the optional whatchamacallit thing. Might be one of those where I try the modern practice queue as well. Hey man, I completely understand. I mean, if you look at... So we've been doing this 7 years? I think 2017 was the first year. I started streaming. I mean, a lot of people have left the industry over that time. Ghost, Grimflayer, Sideboard MTG. I've noticed even M. Hayashi hasn't posted anything in 3 or 4 months. You know, while certain people are still in the industry, whether it be, you know, Aspiring Spike, Kayla Derward, etc., you know, Young Dingo over the last couple years, there's a lot of people that just have, stepped away at different points for different reasons. Almost, I mean, how many times was it War Dog that I almost stepped away for, or did step away for periods of time? It was probably a good between. That's just. Well, the MTGO Tavern only lasted a year. What was this channel called before MTG Nexus? I'm trying to remember what it was even called when I first started the channel. I don't think it was MTGO Tavern 2, was it? Or was it originally MTGO Tavern and I changed the name on this one? I'd have to go back and look at the like first couple year of videos before we switched it over to Nexus. Yeah, well, there was, in that time frame, there was 2 different long-term situations. So, you know, there was the Washington situation, and then there was my long-term girlfriend that's become my wife, so... that's 2 different situations over that course. And then I was still in undergrad and then postgrad during that, plus the new job. So lots happened in the last 7 years. There was a point in time where I think I was putting out a video a day or more on this channel. And then again, there was only one channel at that point. Then at different points, I've had, this channel, the Nexus Red channel, the, Alright, well, this could get entertaining. No blocks, huh? Bold move, Cotton. Not quite lethal, but... yeah, at times I had 5 or 6 channels going at the same time. I think since we've pared it down to the 3 channels, it's been more or less sustainable. No, we're actually up against Reanimator. Got it. So unless the opponent has Fatal Push here, they have to block both. Alright, I think they realized. Please don't concede the match. Please don't concede the match. Thank you. Bring these 4 in. Go down the lava darts, I think. Seems like a reasonable enough switch. You know, are you still working for the as a salesman for the distributor or the I think it was an alcohol distributor, or are you moved on to something else now? I think it's been, I don't want to say it's been a year since I've seen you, but it's been a minute. Yeah, we'll keep us in. Keep. Oh, you're in banking. Nice. You a teller? You a loan person? What are you doing? Okay. I'm curious what they'll pitch here. I don't want to play one of these tour mods this turn unless, you know, they do something like that, and we kind of have to. Back streets back, alright. Loans and credit cards, got it. Yeah, I'm still working for the same company I started a couple years ago, but I did change positions ever so slightly. A little bit more responsibility, so. HELOCs, not familiar with banking terminology terribly much. I'm guessing this is the Oculus Toxic Deluge for 6. Alright, well, they weren't taking any chances there. Oh, I'm not including lines of credit. Gotcha. Alright, play the Otter, play the Soul Scar, and pass. You know, I greatly appreciate our opponent playing out the game here. You know, Reanimator isn't the funnest deck to play against, so I think we try to force the issue here. I don't want to use Blossoming Defense, but I do at least want to force my opponent to make a decision how they're going to block. And then if they give us an opening here, or if they try to make a move with, you know, Bow Masters or something. Sure. They're going to give it flying and then block Slick Shot. Makes sense. So this be lethal. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 8. Yeah, that's lethal. Presuming, of course, they don't have a fatal push or some other interaction here. Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like, Standard and Pioneer, the power level of those decks is almost better than the power level of the Modern Prowess deck, and yet the format is so much better for them. And the Standard Prowess deck, can also get the burn element with Bolt Wave. So trying to figure out, with stepping away from mana traders and stepping away from, MTGO rentals, I'm trying to find the right balance of competitive decks and affordable decks on a semi-budget at the moment. So, Prowess, when I was buying into a deck, I unfortunately made the decision to buy into a deck or decks right before MH3 dropped. Prowess was fairly reasonably positioned at that point, and Burn was still okay. And then Energy dropped, and it was like, well, between Energy and Nadu, neither one of these decks is going to do Patuki. So, then I recently bought into the remaining pieces I needed for Storm. So I at least have a semi-tier deck, but number one, I'm still learning it, and number two, it's not like a top echelon deck like, Energy or Murktide or Amulet all the time. Those new builds of Amulet, man, I thought the deck was complicated before. Now it's just like, no thanks, I'm a good. Still haven't gotten some show. I brought it right at the end of the COVID, but still haven't gotten in. Yeah. That's the other thing is, I used to have used to put in I want to say 10 to 12, 10 to 16 hours a week between streaming and recording. Now I'm down to, on average, probably 6 to 8. So I prefer the decks that are just like boom done, boom done, boom done, boom done. And unfortunately that doesn't translate to high performing decks most of the time. So alright. We gave it, clearly no one wants to do a 2-man queue. So back to the practice lobby. I mean, it was one thing when, we were doing Mana Traders, and Mana Traders was down to $50 a month by the time we gave up our subscription from the bonuses or the, subscriber loyalty stuff they did. Then it just so happened right as they were restructuring their thing to accommodate prices for I think it was MH3. I stepped away from them, and there was a lot of backlash online for what they did. And it was like my leaving their services had nothing to do with the quality of their service. It was just I don't generate enough content and play enough Magic to justify spending $50 a month on having access to basically every deck anymore. So hopefully my opponent doesn't concede. Turn 1, basic planes, go. Land? Nope. So what is the risk of keeping this hand? And honestly, I probably shouldn't have, but I think it has enough potential, even on stuck on one land, that it can do a lot. Unless our opponent, went like fatal push, or prismatic ending, then. But it looks like we're up against D&T. All right, let's fetch. May as well show him. That was right church, wrong thing. Oh well. Reprieve. Okay, I'm somewhat intrigued now. I almost thought about plotting this, but I wasn't anticipating. Maybe I should have anticipated reprieve here, but especially since my opponent's literally doing nothing. Let's go ahead and force the issue here without exposing any more creatures in case they're just like mono white control or something. Opponent might have some type of removal spell here, Path to Exile or something. I'm not going to play anything more into removal spell. I'm just going to throw some burn spells at their face. Yeah, sure. Reprieve into reprieve. Probably not the best situation to be against Prowess, but I suspect we have a Day of Judgment or Wrath of God dropping this turn. Oh. Nope. So my opponent is missing a color. Theoretically. It's going to fetch the basic mountain here since they can't punish us for it this turn. Play Slick Shot, play Bolt, and kill you. That's 2 cards you already know in my hand. Alright, sideboarding. I don't think we want any cards, honestly. I mean, they could be like a Chalice deck or something. Some way, somehow. But I think this is literally just a don't mulligan. Bit of a risky hand with only the 1 creature, but I think we'll keep it. Immediately draw into a second land. This is like the 1 land we didn't want to draw in this matchup, in case they're like a multi-demolition field deck. I think we surveil with Commercial District here. Definitely putting that in the graveyard. Guess we play that. Go ahead and plot the Slick Shot. don't want to play into a tempo game for them. And then we can hold up Blossoming Defense. Okay. Maybe Dam is just a juke because we haven't actually seen any black lands out of them or white lands out of them. Maybe it's just the cheapest Wrath available. Ew. Well, this is gonna get ugly. Guess what's in our hand? Sure. We have another knight. Ice Crown Scepter. Into silence. That'd be very unfortunate. Did they copy Dawn Charm? Okay, yeah, we're not beating that. Alright, well, I guess we're bringing in the, oh, opponent just wanted to show off their tech. Got it. Opponent's like, haha, I won a game. Have you been playing any Timeless at all? O'Doyle comes in and talks about it from time to time. Like, I was thinking... if in sometime in the next 6 months, if I revive the Arena channel, I'd make it either Timeless only or Brawl only. And I'm not sure which one I'm leaning towards, honestly. So I'm not sure how big the audience for Timeless is, number one. Brawl, I suspect, is a bigger audience, but probably a lot more people producing content for it. So I'm debating, like, leaning towards one or the other, what direction I want to go with the Arena Nexus channel. Which has basically been on a hiatus all 2024. Mulligan. Can't keep the one lander in that case. This hand's fine. Question becomes, which card am I choosing to mulligan? I guess it's Bolt. And I'd really like them to stop fooling around and get Pioneer Masters on Arena, and that way I could actually play Pioneer on Arena instead of Explorer. Okay. Am I playing around another removal spell? I would here if I had a way to protect the creature, but since I don't, it's kind of just punch them in the face and hope they run out of removal spells. Now, ironically, Sneak Attack or Sneak and Show or Omni Sneak or whatever it is, it's probably the deck I'd most lean towards playing. I'm just slowly accruing wild cards for it. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is a little annoying here, but if I'm them, I guess I take Monstrous Rage. Maybe Soulscar, but I feel like Monstrous Rage is the take here. Alright, well, if we draw a Salt Strobe, I think the game's over. Lava Dart changed the equation. For 8. I think I just let this go, right? No reason to 8-5 to prowess that one, so nothing's going to save it, so. Slick shot. Haven't done the math, but I think this is lethal. Let's say, if I know my prowess math, that was lethal. Exactsies. No, but there is that stupid Belcher deck with, what, Flare of Denial. I don't think Force of Negation is legal in the format, is it? Do I even want the Tormod's Crypts? I mean, Ceremonious Rejection isn't for this matchup. Pick Your Poison is only really relevant against DRC from what we saw. Rough Tumble might be relevant against their deck. We'll have to wait and see like more what their creature base is. Tormod's Crypt would hit Croxa and DRC, but I feel like that's just sideboarding incorrectly. Now all you guys show up. What's up, Asley and O'Doyle? I have seen Shifting Woodlands in Modern. I actually lost beat one playing Storm on Friday. It like used Omniscience, Enter the Infinite, and then Thassa's Oracle is its win con. So yeah, and the thing with that with Timeless is that Belcher deck is not too far off of the Modern list. Do we dare keep this hand? I think we do in bottom Elusive Otter. Really hope to draw a second land. I don't really want to go down below 6 against an opponent with, you know, removal spells, discard, that kind of stuff, so. Let's get Steam Vents here. Get Elusive Otter down. So, yeah. I don't think we defend Elusive Otter here. Because it would likely require 2 Mutagenic Growths to keep it from dying. Oh. They're just going to Crocs us. Get rid of the uncastable card. Land, please. I said land, not Slick Shot Show Off, but you know, whatevs. I think we swing up both, force them to solitary confinement. Oh my. Wow. That's some Foz level nonsense right there. Season Spyro, yeah. But I was just like, okay, so they're the slightly different version of the FOMO deck. Okay. We just play Swift Spear and pass. Oh, I can imagine. I think the one I see most often, at least among the content creators, for Timeless was usually Approach of the Second Sun, some type of loop with Mastermind's Acquisition, some type of blue sorcery that allows you to pick 2 cards up from your graveyard, and then Mastermind's Acquisition again to get a grab approach, or no, grab this blue card. I forget what the name of it is. Oh, I haven't looked at the format in a while, so. Or I forget what the combo is. Where are they persisting back? Emburrow Bones? Oh joy. Swift Spear, sure. So mutagenic growth is +4. Lava Darts +3. Flashback Lava Darts +3. So 10. Are we just one short here? So make it a 4 and a 2. So 6, 5 and a 3 +1. Flashback. So +1, or sorry, +4, 4 and 2, 3, flashback. Okay, so this is, puts this to a 4. 5, 6, puts this to 4, and then 12. We're just dead here. Alright, War Dog, man. Take care. It was nice seeing you, man. Is rough tumble where we want to be with what we saw? I don't think so. I still don't think so. So. I mean, this hand's fine, but if this Swiftspear dies, then we're just dead, so. But, on the other hand, our opponent has discard spells, so I can't leave it in my hand either. So it's kind of a darned if you do and darned if you don't. DRC, sure. DRC bubble. Okay, so they're kind of the... I mean, they could have Archon in their deck. We don't know. We know they have Persist, so maybe it was right to bring in... maybe it was correct to bring in Tormod's Crypts once we saw the Persist last game. Not that I don't respect Troll of Khazad-dûm, but I think we can beat a persisted Troll of Khazad-dûm if that's their play here. If they Crocs us, we're pitching Lava Dart. Persisting Troll of Khazad-dûm. Give me a land. Land. Currently a 5/4. So this would go 2, 3. So become a 5/4 with Monstrous Rage. Don't think we attack here. I mean, we could punch through Troll of Khazad-dûm, but it would not be the easiest experience. If they get a little bit antsy and start attacking with it, we'll probably be in better shape, but... which it looks like that's what they're going to do. Which means they probably have something here to block or something to clog up the board. Or apparently not. We'll just go face with Bolt. Probably should have played Play with Fire here instead. Master or something. Oh no, didn't see this one coming. Can I force through lethal here? Probably should have checked to see if I could force lethal. 5 pumps it by 3 to 8. 3, 3, 2. So 6, 2 is 8. I'd be 1 short of lethal. I don't know how I feel about this new pitch here. Probably play with fire would be my guess. And we do die to bolt if our opponent has that, but we have to go for the combo here. So I mean, Lava Dart to the face or Lava Dart to our opponent doesn't change. Six. Come on, get antsy with that fatal push. Nice. Makes sense, Ansel. Or Asli. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. But as far as the Prowess deck here, this is what we were rolling with. Elusive Otter was kind of cool. It's nice having another 1-drop creature that isn't Clever Luminancer. Like, Luminancer hits harder, don't get me wrong, but Elusive Otter adds a little bit of issues for your opponent to deal with. I think the one thing I would say is you probably want a second basic mountain in these decks. I'm not sure if you're cutting a fetch land, if you're cutting one of the surveil lands. It's really important in the face of, Harbinger of the Tides and Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter, Night of, or White Knight, whatever nonsense, Phantasm, just any type of random nonsense that you can beat just by playing one more basic. Probably should do it, especially with what's effectively a monocolor deck splashing 2 colors. And I don't know which land I'd cut. Maybe one of the fetches, you know. So, True Course for Malevolent Rumble, for Psychic Frog, 14 Indulgence, for Grim Tutor, for Archdruid's Charm, 2 Omniscience, 4 Gristlebrand, 2 Atraxa, 4 Impulse, and then a bunch of lands. That's terrifying. I'd probably still be tempted to run Show and Tell on that deck. Two Slams, Emperor of Bones, and 8 my Breaker of Creation and Lost. Yeah, I really do wonder if you don't want Show and Tell, if not in your starting 60 in the sideboard as a juke plan against random graveyard hate, or, you know, Blood Moon or Harbinger. Oh, that's from Modern. Lordy, lordy, lordy. That is a pile. Why Impulse over something like one of the looting effects, like is it Tainted Indulgence? Oh, you already have the Tainted Indulgence, never mind. Wouldn't Grizzly Salvage almost fit better with what you're doing? It digs 1 deeper and you can pick up a land or a creature. The only thing you can't pick up is the Grim Tutor and the Grape Shots. Oh no, Doyle. It looks interesting. It'd be just wacky enough that I would try it if I still had the Mana Trader stuff, but unfortunately we don't, so. It's all free and they just need cantrips. Gotcha. Still really relying on your game plan. I think your only backup plan seems to be Psychic Frog. I mean, kind of Storm. So. But. Anywho. I did like Elusive Otter. It's certainly a card worth trying a little bit more. The rest of the build, you know, I really didn't miss Scale Up in this build. I did like everything basically being an instant and being 1 mana, with the exception, obviously, of Assault Strobe. The fact that you don't have to try to trigger Delirium means you're not randomly vulnerable to Graveyard Hate, really. Other than your Lava Darts, but who cares about those? So, I'm not opposed to running this style back at some point, but I know it's not the teamer that everybody was probably hoping for with Preordain and Expressive Iteration, but then you draw 14 off Gristlebrand, attracts them with huge Grape Shots. I mean, it sounds like a more convoluted, almost more slower version of Neo Brand. Basically, you get an Omniscience, make it go, and then Grape Shot your opponent. At that point, you could even run... what the heck is the card? Gristlebrand, Children of Corliss. I'm trying to remember what the other piece of that puzzle was that allowed them to keep getting back the Child of Corliss. Or is that a legacy only thing? Child of Corliss. I think that was a legacy only thing. So, but yeah, Doyle definitely looks pretty sweet. But I want to thank you and Hazel for hanging out, War Dog for making an appearance for the first time in ages, and hopefully sometime this holidays we'll get the entire old band back together at some point. You know, Space Marine, Foz, you, etc. And everybody else that likes to hang out. So yeah, that's the problem with Modern. In some ways it's limited, in some ways it's busted. So anyways, thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. Don't forget to check in next week for our Prowess stream. I'll be on the lookout to see if there's any like sweet brews with the new stuff. If there's anything in Foundations that, you know, helps the Prowess decks. I don't see anything. I mean, obviously Bolt Wave helps burn, but I don't know that helps Prowess per se. But it is something to keep an eye on. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and hope to see you for next week's stream. See ya.